Hello everyone and welcome to Valencia. It is the 7th of February and I'm sitting down here having driven down a few days ago. So I'm in my new van, Bellero, Bellero, and I'll explain the reason for that name later on. And I'm off on a trip for 2 or 3 months. I'm not sure exactly how long. So the trip's going really well. Very pleased with the van and very pleased with the whole endeavour. But I'll talk about that in a few minutes. First, I'd like to jump back to the last couple of days of January before I went away, when I finished fitting out Bellero the way I wanted to, and show you a little bit about the van. Here's my new van. And the van is a Nissan NV 400 2.3 litre twin turbo diesel with 180 brake horsepower. I bought it as a 2021 reg. I bought it with 52,000 kilometers on the clock, which is barely broken in. And as I couldn't name it Bellero because my last van was Bellero, but as she's more beautiful than my last van, I named her Bellero. So here I am with Bellero going on adventures. This van has everything that I need. So I'm going to give you a tour of it and tell you a little bit about it. So when I bought it, it had 200 watts of solar panels on the roof. I upgraded that to 400 watts. It had 100 ampere hour lithium battery. I upgraded that, but a second went to 200 ampere hours. I put new tyres on the van. I put Michelin Agilis all-weather tyres. I had all-weather tyres on Bellero, and I thought they were wonderful. Really made a big difference. So I put the best one I could buy on this van. And all the feedback I got from people in the know was that these are the best tyres I could actually get for the van. I put the decals on it, and you can see I made a bit of a pig's ear of it. And putting decals on actually is quite simple once you know how. And if you don't know how, well, it's a bit of a mess. So this side is where I learned. The other side looks much better. I fixed the tie rod, the right-hand side tie rod. The steering was bent, and there's a couple of bits and pieces on that need to be replaced. Obviously, he hit a pothole or hit something with the right-hand wheel. So I fixed those and had the steering aligned. The van itself, in the interior, I put down rubber matting everywhere, and you'll see it inside in the cabin part. The van has Apple Play, it has cruise control, it has air conditioning. It's 6-speed, and really pleased with the engine. It's a wonderful engine. Inside, you can see all the rubber matting I put down. I covered all the floor in it. It wears really well, and it's really easy to clean. Just going to turn on the lights in here so you can get a little look around the van itself. I mean, it's enormous. The van is just over 6 meters long, which is much bigger than a Bellero was. So I find that in Bellero, I felt like I was driving a car. In this, I'm definitely driving a van, and I know it. I'm up high, which is nice, and she's got plenty of power, which is nice, but she's much bigger. She's not a thing for driving into town and parking in a car parking space. So you can see it here, nice seat covers on it. This seat here, the passenger seat, this swivels and turns around. The lithium batteries are underneath both seats. I didn't put a swivel on the driver's seat because it would have raised it up another couple of centimeters, 2 or 3 centimeters, and that would have made it hard for me to get my feet comfortably to the pedals. So I decided to leave it flat, even though it would be nice to be able to swivel around. But there's all sorts of messing that has to take place around the handbrake. You see how high it is there. You have to adjust all of that. So I decided to leave well enough alone. Loads of storage here for maps, all the bits and pieces. Storage everywhere. There's a wonderful amount of storage in this. Here you see the dining area. 2 seats here, 2 seat belts. So there's 4 seat belts in the van. there's my table. That's a collapsible table. I have another little table here that flicks up for both cooking and also for eating. You can see here lots of other control panels for all the various bits and pieces. This one's tell me how much is in the battery. This one is telling me what's happening to the solar panels. This one is for the shore power. And down here you see I have lots of outlets, power outlets. There's the heating outlet, power outlet, and so on and so forth. I have an 80 litre water tank and a 50 or 60 litre wastewater tank. I have a 10 litre hot water cylinder. I'll show it you here. There's my, for heating up my water. It looks a lot bigger actually than 10 litres, but I'm not really sure. I have a really good fridge here. It's a 12-volt fridge and it works. The other fridge I had in Bellero was not really good. I have 2-ring gas hob here, and my sink here with hot and cold water. I have a bathroom in here, and you can see I have a shower, nice shower tray, toilet, shower curtain, and whatever. The cassette for the toilet is accessed from the inside, which is sort of nice. So here's my fan, my ceiling fan, and that's worked by remote control. And apart from that, he hasn't really cut the bodywork. You can see here I've got really good lighting, loads of storage here, a really good bed. I got a nice fleece duvet cover for the bed. I have access here to the garage. You can see here access to the garage underneath the bed. I'll show you that at the moment. It's enormous. Lots of storage. This is a wardrobe. More storage underneath here. Underneath there's the sink area. Storage up here. More storage here. I've actually got enough storage for a family. I put the see this. I made this. This is actually a blackout curtain, and I made like just draw straight across here. I also got these blinds. You can see them there. I got blinds to go on the 2 side windows, the windscreen, this side window here, and the rear windows there. I got these blinds, blackout thermal blinds, and they will keep the van warm, and they will obviously black out the van. You'll see here on the windows, I put those wind deflectors on both of these side windows. I put this on so that I can leave the windows open at time. A gas cylinder, you can see it here. Lovely big gas cylinder, loads of gas, enough gas to keep me going for a couple of trips, I think. I don't anticipate running out on this trip. So this is Bellero, my new van, and with which I am very pleased. What can I say? I'm just going to show you the garage underneath. And you can see here that I have loads and loads of storage underneath the bed. It's really, really spacious. You can see all the box up there with all my gear and whatever. I have loads more stuff to go into it. But you can see the amount of space you have. I can't get over all the space. The water tank is in there behind that panel. The wastewater is underneath. There's the water inlet for putting into my 80 litre tank. And the outlet, the water outlet, is down there. You can see it down there underneath. So yeah, I say I'm super pleased with Bellero. So there you have it, guys. That's my my new van, Bellero. So let me tell you about my journey so far. I took the ferry I went to Dublin actually on the Monday, and met with Patrick and Sarah, which was lovely. They came into town to meet me. I really appreciated it. We went and had a cup of coffee, and then I went and visited a friend for lunch and spent the afternoon with her, and that was our lovely as well. And she fed me well, which is important. And then I drove down on Monday evening to Rosslare, and I parked in up beside the chipper, which is about 2 minutes outside of the harbour, and you can find it on a Park for Night. And I've parked there before. It's a lovely place to park. Slept well. There was no problem. Poured rain all night, but I slept like a log and got up early and basically just brushed my teeth, went to the loo, and drove my van down. The boat was about an hour late leaving. We were supposed to leave at 9 o'clock in the morning. We left about 10 o'clock. But they made up the time en route. The crossing, I love Brittany Ferries. I just think they're really good company. The crossing from Rosslare to Bilbao was rough for sure, but I have a good, again, touch wood here before I say this, I want to tempt the fates. I have a good sea stomach, so I wasn't ill or anything, I was fine, but it was a rough enough crossing. Again, I read all day, just read my book, and got a good night's sleep. And the following day we were there at lunchtime. We arrived in around 12:30 Irish time, 1:30 Spanish time, and I sort of got off the boat. We're off by 2 o'clock, and I drove halfway across to Valencia. Now my original plan had been to go down to Faro in southern Portugal, down to the Algarve, and I haven't really hiked down there. I don't know that area at all. I don't think I've ever been actually, and I really wanted to go and have a look and hike down there. But when I checked the weather when I got off the boat, the weather down there was raining and it was cool. It was about maybe 12 or 13 degrees, and I looked to see what it was like along the south around of Spain, around Malaga, and it was so. But by the time I got up to Valencia, it was lovely. So I drove across to Valencia, and I drove down about halfway, a little more than half, about 400 or 500 kilometers actually, on that afternoon, and got down and parked up for the night in just a park for the night. A lovely little spot actually. It was lovely. They had water, and they had sewage disposal, and it was interesting when I pulled up. The local drumming, or whatever you call them, band was there practicing. So I had about half an hour of that. But I had some food, went to sleep, and the following morning got up early and drove down to Valencia. Now the drive across Spain was really wild. Torrential rain the whole way down, and very high winds. Quite scary actually at times. You come to these big bridges, these huge bridges they've built in Spain. I mean, they're spectacular looking, but boy, when you drive on them in a big van like this and the wind hits you, you really know about it, and you have to sort of get used to the size of this van. But anyway, I got down to Valencia and was down here at lunchtime. Again, it was only about 300 kilometres, I think, or maybe 350 kilometres the second leg. Got down around lunchtime, found this campsite, and I came straight to this campsite and checked in. And I wanted to come to a campsite because I wanted to check things out and get used to everything before I sort of embarked on my real wild camping, even though I'd already done at that stage 2 nights of it, but you know what I mean. And I'm really glad I did. I'll tell you why in a moment. So checked in, and it was fine. Got some food, and made myself some food, and sort of chilled for the afternoon. I had planned to go for a walk. I thought maybe I would head off later on and go for a nice walk, but disaster struck. So I went to do some washing up in the sink after my food, and next to me there was water everywhere, all over the floor, pouring out. So my 80-litre tank emptied itself. The connection for the hot water, actually, which is bizarre, but the connection for the hot water into the sink had come apart, into the faucet had come apart, and the water just came pouring out of it. And I was there frantically trying to mop and stop it, but it went everywhere. And underneath my new floor covering, because I came bubbling up in the corners out of there, pouring out where the gas cylinder is. Anyway, what could I do? I went around the back and opened the valve on the back where I pumped the water in and let it drain out that way as well. And I spent the afternoon cleaning up the van and fixing it. So I fixed it. I found the problem. Had to move the fridge out, got it all back together again, and tightened it all up so it won't come apart again. And that was that problem fixed. But that was my afternoon. So I got a good night's sleep, and then yesterday I went out and I did a walk into Valencia. And I want to talk about Valencia for a moment for any of you who haven't been. What a spectacular city. So I think my walk in was about 16 kilometres, I think in total is what I did. Walked in along by the lovely buildings, these spectacular buildings. It was like being in the next century. The ocean whatever institute they have there, this big ocean institute they have, this art centre, this museum, incredible buildings. And I'm just going to show you a few shots of them here, maybe a little video of them. And then I went and I walked up through this linear park. So the river, apparently, obviously some time ago, the river burst its banks and they decided to divert the river. And they diverted the river through a whole new canal system. And they turned what was the riverbed into this linear park that runs for kilometres right through the heart of the city. It's like a huge lawn in the heart of the city. And so I walked up through that and it was absolutely beautiful, so it was. And then I went up to the old town, had a look around the old town, which was charming, like all these old towns. Some lovely old buildings, nice streets, and nicely tiled streets. I had a peppermint tea and I sat there and sort of in the sun for a while and watched the world go by. And then I walked out of the town back down to the linear park, to the end of it, and I picked up the number 25 bus, €2, which got me home. And that was sort of nice. I did some shopping, a bit of grocery shopping when I was in Valencia. And so I had myself a nice steak and some salad and wine, whatever, when I got home, and chilled and read for the evening. So that was really nice. I slept well again last night. And then this morning, I went for another walk. This one again was about 17 kilometres, I think, maybe just short of 17 kilometres. But I went the opposite direction. They have this lagoon, for want of a better way to describe it, a freshwater lagoon cut off from the sea by sand dunes. And I went down, I walked down along the edge of that, or near enough the edge of that. And I came back up by the beach. The beach was hard going. Walking, I probably did around 5 or 6 kilometres on the beach. And that was tough going, walking in the sand. But it was a lovely walk. I got back, had my shower and shave and whatever, and had some food. And did a couple of little jobs, like laundry, the new laundry, got them washed and dried, so everything's fresh again. I emptied my cassette from my toilet. It was my first time doing it. And that was an experience, guys. I won't go into any details, except boy. And then, but it was fine. And so tomorrow I plan to head off. I spent the afternoon doing this video, taking some photographs and whatever, doing the video. And then my plan this evening, I'm going to have a glass of wine in a while and maybe a little sandwich. And I'm going to head off tomorrow morning. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to go. I'm going to do a bit of research now. I'm going to stay in this general area because it is the warmest area going forward. Certainly for the next week, it's the warmest area. In fact, they're talking about 24, 25 degrees mid next week. So I'm going to stay in this area, and but not here in the campsite. I'm going to wild camp, go out and wild camp for a while, and try that out and see how it works. I haven't used my shower yet, so this will be my first time using the shower when I go out tomorrow. And so I'll go somewhere tomorrow, park up, get a hike, find somewhere nice for a hike, and maybe try and get into the hills for a while, and do a bit of a shopping and have a shower and see how it works. So that's sort of my update. I'm really enjoying this. I can't tell you how much better this is than Bellero. And Bellero is just a completely different animal. She's completely reliable. I came down the motorway with cruise on 100 kilometers an hour, just cruising along the motorway the whole way down. My foot off the accelerator with cruise control. She's powerful. I can overtake. I can do everything I want her. She's comfortable. There's loads of space. I typically actually sit over in the swivel seat and put my feet up. I'm sitting here in the dining area, put my feet up on this and read. And loads of space, loads of light. The battery, the 200 ampere hours I have of battery, really work well. For a simple example, overnight running the fridge, I use about 20 amps. Of my 200 ampere hours, I use about 20 up overnight on the fridge. And when I drive for 5 minutes, it charges up the battery, and 5-10 minutes the battery's charged up again. A little bit of solar, like today, 2 or 3 hours of solar this morning, and the battery was back up at 100%. So I'm confident that in fact I have as much energy as I need, and that's really, really important when you go wild camping. I won't have enough probably to heat up the boiler, heat up my hot water. You can see the screen up here behind me. I've it up 63 degrees. I'm heating it up tonight, and I'll heat it up again in the morning when I've plugged into shore power here, or when I'm driving, I'll heat it up. But when I'm parked up, I probably won't. Maybe just heat her up a little bit, enough for a shower, enough for washing up. and see how it goes. So tomorrow and the next day will be my next experiment, really, to see how it all goes. So it's all very exciting. Really, really happy. Quickie on the bed. The bed is the full width of the van. I'm 168 centimeters, and boy, I just fit. So you wouldn't want a guy who's 2 meters, or even somebody who's like 175, 170, 175. They would be cramped in this. They'd have to sleep at the diagonal. If there's 2 of them, they'd have to sleep on top of each other. I'm not sure exactly how you do it, but yeah. So the bed, actually, I'm sort of surprised at that. It fits me fine, but just there wouldn't be room for anything else. So that's sort of it, guys. This is my first update, my first video on this trip. I hope you didn't find it too long and too boring, and I'll talk to you again soon. Cheers, guys.